Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 23rd of Jan 2024 and unfortunately guys, the price of Bitcoin has fallen well below the $40,000 mark, and if you look at the market cap of Bitcoin, it is at $760 billion. Now listen to this guys, when there was news speculating that Bitcoin spot ETF will be approved, the market cap of Bitcoin alone was around the $980 billion mark, and just fast forward a few days ago, more than $200 billion has gone off just from the Bitcoin market cap. So definitely not ideal, isn't it? Now what I'd really recommend you to do is guys, listen to my episode the day Bitcoin spot ETF was approved. I very specifically mentioned I wouldn't be surprised if the market cap of Bitcoin would cross the $1 trillion and $200 billion mark, or in extreme cases it goes down below the $750 billion mark. Now as of now we are at $760 billion mark, so definitely not ideal. So what I'm going to be doing guys today, I'm going to be sharing two metrics that is connected to spot Bitcoin ETF approval. Now the first one guys has to do with the chain addresses that are connected to spot Bitcoin ETF. And look guys, this is the power of open source and public verifiability, which are some of the pillars of open blockchain. So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. And the second news guys, I'm going to be discussing the outflows of Bitcoin, which is connected to Bitcoin spot ETF. And unfortunately, it is the 7th day of bad trading for the world of Bitcoin. So clearly, it is not what people were expecting, isn't it? So we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. Now, in the world of Bitcoin, there is some news, and that is connected to Bitcoin ATMs. And Bitcoin Depot, they have ordered 500 Bitcoin ATMs. Now look guys, me personally, I don't like this news, because why would you want to use Bitcoin? And going back to 2016, actually in Dubai, there were rumors that Dubai had gone ahead and launched the world's first Bitcoin ATM, and clearly that was fake news. Now in today's episode, we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on the news regarding 500 new Bitcoin ATMs. And guys, I'm also going to be discussing some news regarding the CEO and president of Franklin Templeton. And what she actually said is that Bitcoin is the greatest detraction from the greatest distribution in the financial market. Really interesting choice of words. And she had an interview with CNBC, so we'll very briefly touch base on that. And she also talked about what we can expect so far as the Federal Reserve Board's decision is concerned regarding the interest rate hike. And guys, finally, we're going to be discussing some unfortunate news, and that is regarding GameE. And looks like they've had a $15 million exploit. Now mind you guys, it's really important to note that GameE is actually backed by Amnico Brands, so definitely unfortunate news. And because of this, unfortunately, the tokens have plummeted as well by well over 64%, so definitely not ideal. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee a Day podcast, I'm going to be discussing two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news guys has to do with the Cardano ecosystem accelerator called as Adaverse. And they have announced their first strategic investment in Saudi Arabia's Take DAO, so I'll definitely go ahead and explore that. Now the second news guys, they are saying it is blockchain, but me personally, I don't think so blockchain merges with this news. But the news is that the massive financial giant from Dubai, called as Mashreq Bank, they have partnered with UAE's fintech Phils to launch carbon offsetting service for corporate clients, and somehow, someway they're promoting it under blockchain news. But I'll definitely go ahead and share my thoughts and opinions on this. So quite a lot of cover guys in today's episode, so let's kick start with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee at 8, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee at 8 has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. We'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee at 8. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee at 8, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee a Day, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well. And Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously. And they're focusing on 3 Ps. That is people, planet, and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing. Go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. and Ledger wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France, and Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers two hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now guys, since we've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now unfortunately, as of today, 23rd of Jan, the global market cap is at $1.52 trillion. Now just to give you a refresher guys, when Bitcoin was at its all-time high, only the market cap of Bitcoin was at $1.6 trillion. The global cryptocurrency market back then was on the verge of touching the $3 trillion mark. Unfortunately guys, looks like the cryptocurrency world has pretty much gone down to 50% from its all-time high, and that has happened in just a matter of 2 years. Absolutely scary, isn't it? I'm pretty much sure a lot of people have actually lost their wealth, well more than 50%. Now, since the last 24 hours, the global cryptocurrency market is actually down by 4.90%. Now, to be honest, guys, I wasn't expecting these numbers because yesterday when I recorded the podcast, I was looking at these numbers in the early hours on Monday, and I was really hoping that on Monday the numbers would definitely pick up pace. Unfortunately, that has not happened. And if you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume, guys, since the last 24 hours, it is at $71.72 billion. And what I tend to do is, I tend to compare these numbers with the volume of stable coins, and then I compare it with the volume of decentralized exchanges. Now, unfortunately, guys, based on these numbers, looks like a lot of people have actually gone ahead and sold a lot of Bitcoin as opposed to transferring them into stable coins. Because to be honest, since the last 24 hours, the volume of stable coins is low and the volume of decentralized exchanges is also low as well. So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. Now, so far as the total volume is concerned, since the last 24 hours, it is actually up by 61.78%. And based on the number, guys, looks like a lot of selling is going on. Now, if you look at the volume on DeFi, though, it has gone up. It is at $6.08 billion. And as of today, guys, DeFi is accounting for 8.46% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And if you look at the total value locked, it is consistent at $55.71 billion, with Lido leading the pack at $21.84 billion. And guys, the decentralized and centralized exchange dominance as of today is at 18.48%. Now let me very quickly run through the volume of decentralized exchanges, guys, because ideally if this number would have been double of what it is, and if the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies would have fallen down, that would give us an idea that people are using a lot of decentralized exchanges, and if the volume of stable coins would have actually gone up, that would actually mean that people are using decentralized exchanges and converting their Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies into stable coins. Unfortunately, that does not happen. Now, so far as the volume is concerned, the number one is Uniswap, and its volume is $1.77 billion. Now, mind you guys, this number of $1.77 billion is almost double of what it was yesterday, but given the price of Bitcoin and global cryptocurrency market, the number ideally should have been in the $2 billion mark, probably even the $3 billion mark. Now, the volume in PancakeSwap is at $514.23 million. Radium, guys, is at $283.08 million. Core Finance is at number 4th at $263.3 million. And finally, Orca at $160.89 million. Now, really, I'm curious to check next week what the volumes are. Now, let's quickly run through the volume of stable coins. As of today, it is at $66.06 billion, and stablecoins is accounting for 91.11% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And out of the $66.06 billion, Tether USDT is accounting for a staggering $53.61 billion, Circle USDC at $7.2 billion, and Tron USD at $132 million. Now look guys, ideally this number should have been double considering the fact that there is so much news circulating regarding spot ETF. If the numbers would have been double, that would have given me some hope that people are not selling their Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, rather they're converting them into stable coins. Now guys, let's quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance. And as I mentioned earlier guys, the market cap of Bitcoin right now is $760 billion, and if you look at the dominance, it is at 50.20%. But since the last 24 hours, a lot of selling is going on, which means there is a lot of activity going on in Bitcoin. And that is unfortunately the reason why the dominance is looking high. And if you also look at the 24-hour trading volume, it is almost double of what it was yesterday at $31.08 billion. Now listen guys, what I'd really recommend you to do is look at the 24-hour trading volume, and then you should ideally compare it with the volume of stable coins, and then compare it with decentralized exchanges. That would give us some indication of what the price prediction might be in the next 24 to 48 hours. Now if you look at the market cap of Ethereum, it is at $267 billion, whereas the 24-hour trading volume of Ethereum is $14.5 billion, and the dominance of Ethereum has actually gone down at 17.60%. Now look guys, what happens is every Mondays, Glassnodes, they tend to provide a weekly snapshot, and along with Glassnodes, even CoinShares, they tend to provide a weekly snapshot of what has happened. Now here's the interesting thing to remember. They tend to look at information for last week, but what happens is mainstream media picks up this news and they would be going ahead and publishing information for last week. And unfortunately guys, the numbers for last week definitely does not make any sense for this particular week. So if you're looking at any information via Glassnodes or CoinShares, just have that thing in mind. It would have been great if they had published the report real time or on a daily basis. I'm pretty much sure they do that via Twitter nonetheless though. So I would definitely recommend you guys to go ahead and keep a track via the Twitter accounts as well. Now guys, let me very quickly run through the market cap of smart contracting platform. And as I mentioned earlier guys, Ethereum's market cap is at $267 billion. Binance BNB is extremely strong at number 2nd at $44.39 billion. And I very specifically remember guys, around the 2nd or the 3rd week of December, someone did actually ask me if Solana would actually replace Binance BNB at number 2nd, and at that point of time, I told them to actually wait for the next 3 months. That would give us an idea, and based on the first 3 weeks of January, looks like Binance BNB is definitely here to stay. Now Solana is at number 3rd guys, but if we look at the difference, there is a difference of over $10 billion, and Solana's market cap is $34.72 billion. Cardano guys is lagging way behind, and its market cap is $16.21 billion, and finally Avalanche at $10.22 billion. Now guys, before we look at the king of all kings, let me run through Bitcoin Gold guys, because I'm pretty much sure a lot of them in the cryptocurrency world are not aware of what Bitcoin Gold is. Now you need to remember that Bitcoin and Bitcoin Gold do use the same consensus mechanism, that is proof of work, and Bitcoin Gold was actually founded going back to 2017 as a user-friendly alternative to Bitcoin. So let me go ahead and share some bits and pieces of information regarding that, because Bitcoin Gold guys was founded by a group of people, and the two key figures were Hang Yin and Martin Kuwanzer, and they had very strong background in computer science and engineering, and they both started Bitcoin Gold to offer a coin with features similar to Bitcoin, but with expanded possibilities for developers. Now so far as the unique features of Bitcoin Gold is concerned, Bitcoin Gold combines the security of Bitcoin with innovative blockchain development, and they also introduce a new proof-of-work algorithm along with proof-of-work to address scalability issues, making mining more accessible. Now, so far as the consensus mechanism is concerned, they definitely use proof-of-work, but they introduced a new proof-of-work algorithm to address scalability issues, making mining more accessible. And listen guys, Bitcoin Gold is an open source protocol allowing developers to contribute freely, promoting decentralization, and Bitcoin Gold has a maximum supply of 21 million tokens, exactly similar to Bitcoin. But so far as the token distribution is concerned, it includes allocation of development, ecosystem support, community, yearly expenses, bounties, and quite a lot more, which is definitely not seen in Bitcoin, isn't it? Now, so far as the mining and security of Bitcoin is concerned, as I mentioned earlier, Bitcoin Gold uses proof-of-work mechanism similar to Bitcoin, but they introduced the Equihash proof-of-work algorithm, favoring graphic cards, that is GPU, mining over specialized hardware, that is ASICs, and this approach aims to make mining more decentralized and accessible to a broader community. So essentially guys, in simpler terms, Bitcoin Gold is a sibling similar to Bitcoin, aiming to be more inclusive and flexible for developers, and it introduces changes in how mining works to promote fairness and decentralization, making it distinct from Bitcoin. Now what are your thoughts guys? Me personally, I'm not a fan of it, but I thought yesterday I talked about Tether Gold. Today let me go ahead and talk about Bitcoin Gold. And is there an Ethereum Gold? Let's see if there is an Ethereum Gold. I'll definitely go ahead and cover that in tomorrow's episode. Now guys, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And unfortunately guys, the price of Bitcoin is well below the $40,000 mark, and as of now it is at $38,000. $855, and since the last 24 hours, it is down by 4.75%, and since the last 7 days, it is down by 9.20%. Ethereum, guys, is at $2,222. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by 6.85%. Since the last 7 days, it is down by 11.98%. Binance BNB, guys, is below the $300 mark, and as of now, it is at $298. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by 5.71%. Since the last 7 days, it is down by 6.42%. And look, guys, since the last 10 days, there's so much news going on regarding spot Bitcoin ETF. Now, let me go ahead and discuss the first news that has to do with on-chain addresses. And this, to be honest, guys, is the power of open source. So these on-chain addresses are connected to spot Bitcoin ETF. And Outcome, guys, which is an intelligence firm, has identified the on-chain location of 4 Bitcoin ETFs. And they were the first to publicly identify these addresses. Now, what I really recommend you to do is, guys, go to their Twitter account or X account. It is in the show notes below, and you can actually go ahead and find these 4 addresses, and these are connected to spot Bitcoin ETF, which were issued by BlackRock, Bitwise, Fidelity Investment, and Franklin Templeton. And based on available data, guys, according to Akram, BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, that is IBIT, presently possesses 33,430 Bitcoins. Now look, guys, unfortunately, I hate to say it, because of spot Bitcoin ETF approval, a lot of manipulation is actually going on, and we can clearly see the price of Bitcoin falling down, isn't it? And is it possible that a lot of Bitcoin whales, a lot of multi-billion giants, they are the one responsible for lowering the price of Bitcoin? Most likely, yes. And BlackRock has gone ahead and accumulated a lot of these Bitcoins, and the 33,430 Bitcoins at the time of the tweet were roughly around $1.3 billion. Now, if the price of Bitcoin was increasing, they would have actually gone ahead and spent, let's say, $1.5 billion or maybe even $2 billion. Now, so far as this information by Akram is concerned, the information aligns with publicly disclosed data on IBIT holdings accessible on BlackRock's official website. So it looks like the information is 100% legitimate. And look, guys, I hate saying this, when you talk about Bitcoin now, it is definitely not a play for average individual citizens. People in underdeveloping countries are definitely not going to be benefiting with Bitcoin anymore. Looks like the rich have gotten richer, multi-billionaires have gotten even more money, billionaires have become multi-billionaires, celebrities, early influencers, and early adopters are the only ones who are benefiting by this news. Now let me go ahead and run through some metrics so far as the trading volume is concerned, because James Seffard, he did actually post that only $765 million in net outflows were actually seen on the 7th day of trading, and his official Twitter account is in the show notes below as well. And what he actually said, guys, is that BlackRock's numbers are in for Bitcoin ETF, and he said something called as Kentucky Derby. I really am not sure, to be honest, what that means. Is it a terminology that is to do with trading? Is that a terminology that is being used by ETF? I really am not sure, to be honest. If you know them, please mention in the comments below. Now, what he did actually mention in the tweet is that the third biggest inflow day for IBIT is set at $270 million and only $76 million in net outflows for the day. And guys, earlier in the day, he also tweeted that it was a bad day for Bitcoin ETFs in Kentucky Derby, and GBTC saw over $640 million flow out yesterday. And outflows, guys, aren't slowing, they are definitely picking up. Now, based on his tweet, guys, what he's saying is that this is the largest outflow yet for GBTC, and the total outflow so far is $3.45 billion. Now, if you want to go ahead and read through the article and get more detailed information, guys, Cointelegraph has gone ahead and published the article. Now, look, guys, I wouldn't be surprised if there is heavy manipulation going on. A lot of Bitcoin whales, they are definitely going ahead and selling at a relatively high price. And BlackRock, guys, they might have actually gone and purchased a lot of Bitcoin in the past, and they are probably going ahead and dumping a lot of the Bitcoin. Those are my honest thoughts. And the answer is pretty simple, guys. BlackRock, Bitwise, Fidelity Investment, Franklin Templeton, and many others, what they would really want to do is they would want the price of Bitcoin to go down so they can go ahead and accumulate it at a lower price. And when the Bitcoin halving kicks in, I'm pretty much sure they are the ones who are going to be benefited by it. Those are my honest thoughts, guys. Now let me also go ahead and share some positive news regarding Bitcoin, and that is actually by the president and CEO of Franklin Templeton. And what she actually said is that the Bitcoin might be the greatest attraction from greatest disruption. But listen, guys, that necessarily was not her intention. She definitely seems to be a massive advocate of Bitcoin and blockchain technology as well. Now, Jenny Johnson is the current president and CEO of Franklin Templeton, and she did actually join CNBC Swag Box to discuss the firm's spot Bitcoin ETF offering. And she also got and discussed the recent market trends and the general interest which is seen so far spot Bitcoin ETF. And she also discussed the Federal Reserve's outlook on interest rate. Now look guys, it's going to be really interesting to see what the actual outcome so far as the interest rate is, and Federal Chair Jerome Powell will be announcing the interest rate hike, or he might not announce the interest rate hike, but nonetheless the announcement will actually take place, I believe, on the 31st of this month. And that news once again will significantly impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now one thing which stood out for me regarding Jenny Johnson is she was the one who actually said that Bitcoin is actually censorship resistant. And in the interview with CNBC Swag Box, she actually said that she does know quite a lot of people from Israel who have safeguarded quite a lot of the fundings and keeping them in Bitcoin. Now look guys, we might be heading into World War III. And Valuetainment, one of the leading podcasters, they have some elaborate information where they're actually talking about there are over 40 countries having the elections this year. And to be honest guys, this year could just be one of the worst years in humanity. And keeping all these things in mind, is it ideal to have Bitcoin as a safe haven? I really am hoping it is. And that is something guys which I'm noticing Jenny Johnson is saying, and even Larry Fink was indirectly hinting towards as well. So let's see what the future is. Now guys, let's discuss some news regarding Bitcoin ATM. And Bitcoin Depot guys has placed a purchase order with ATMs and kiosk solutions provider Gen Mega for 500 new Bitcoin ATMs, and the company's CEO Brandon Mintz did actually state that we look forward to deploying these BTMs, also called as Bitcoin ATMs, quickly in several markets as we continue championing widespread Bitcoin accessibility. Now look guys, I don't understand the reason as to why you would want to have a Bitcoin ATM. Now the idea sounds great, but listen, using a Bitcoin ETF is literally going a step backwards, isn't it? Now on a side note guys, what I'd really recommend you to do is, on Netflix there is a documentary called as Bitcoin. Definitely go out and check it out, and they were actually selling this idea of having a debit card connected to your cryptocurrencies. Now listen guys, having a plastic card defeats the whole purpose of having a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, isn't it? Why would you want to get it connected to a physical device? And these are unfortunately some of the basics that a lot of them don't understand. Now listen guys, I've said this thing so many times in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast. Go to YouTube, look at Andrea Santanopoulos' Pillars of Open Blockchain. He talks about open source, he talks about censorship resistant, he talks about neutral, he talks about borderless, and he also talks about publicly verifiable. Now the publicly verifiable he's mentioned in a separate video, but definitely a must to truly understand the basics of Bitcoin and open blockchain. Now guys, let's discuss some unfortunate news, and that is regarding an exploit which did take place on a platform called as Game E. And Game E guys is a blockchain gaming project backed by Amico Brands, and they experienced unauthorized access to its token contracts on Polygon, resulting in the theft of 600 million tokens, which were valued at $15 million, and the stolen token guys were converted into Ethereum and Matic and exchanged on various decentralized exchanges. And because of this guys, the token of Game E did actually go down by 64%. Now Game E has claimed that no community-owned assets were compromised, and they do plan to support affected users, so definitely unfortunate news. The look guys, news such as this definitely is not ideal for the cryptocurrency world and even for the gaming world, isn't it? So let's see guys if there's a pump in the token of Game E, and the token symbol is GMEE, that is G for George, M for mother, E for elephant, E for elephant. So those were some macro level news guys from the cryptocurrency world. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first news guys is connected to Cardano, and the news essentially is that Adaverse, a Cardano ecosystem accelerator, has announced their first strategic investment in Saudi Arabia's TakeDAO. So let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this, because TakeDAO secures undisclosed investment from Adaverse for Sharia compliant blockchain services, and TakeDAO guys was founded in 2022, and they offer savings, loans and cooperative life insurance. And guys, investment support to take a show launch was in June of 2024, and prior funding included $1.6 million, which was a pre-sound led by Tim Draper, definitely a top influencer, isn't it? And Adaverse guys, a Cardano ecosystem accelerator, make the first strategic investment in TakeDAO, aligning with Vision 2030. And TakeDAO guys expanding their presence in Riyadh, becoming the first venture capital in Saudi Arabia for Web3 and blockchain, and they plan to invest $10 million in local Web3 startups in 2024, actively supporting portfolio companies, and Vincent Lee did express optimism about the collaboration, emphasizing a commitment to solving challenges and empowering communities. And TakerDAO, founded in May 2022, focuses on decentralized finance with products like Takerturn and Takersure as well. And so far as Takerturn is concerned, they enable collective savings, while Takersure operates as a cooperative life insurance DAO that is decentralized autonomous organization. And TakerDAO guys leverages blockchain for transparency, cost reduction, and secure halal financial solutions. And the co-founders Murad Hossain and Sharon Lee are inspired by personal experiences in ethical financing. Now this collaboration guys is seen as a strategic alliance to scale Web3 solutions and contribute to Saudi economy and diversification. And Islamic finance guys is valued at $2 trillion, and they definitely do see accelerated growth, predominantly in Muslim countries. And either worse, their investment symbolizes expertise and market connections for growth in pivotal markets. And despite this guys, they are only serving 24% of global population. And Sharia compliant insurance represents less than 0.5% of the $5 trillion global insurance industry. And TakerDAO aims to overcome scalability challenges for now, and they are anticipating a 10% annual growth, reaching $5.1 trillion by 2028. And with over 17,000 members guys, TakerDAO's Takerturn has built a community pending the launch of Takersure in June 2024, and Takershore's launch is expected to revolutionize Sharia compliant financial services. Now look guys, I have two takes on this. One, are they following the ethos of open blockchain? And the answer is an abrupt no. You can't focus what you're offering only to a selected regions or to a Sharia compliant financial services. The answer is pretty simple. They do not follow the features of open blockchain. But if you look at it from a second point of view, there is a massive opportunity, and Islamic finance is valued at $2 trillion. So it looks like they definitely want to take a pie of that, using centralized services, using centralized blockchain, and definitely not open blockchain. Those are my honest thoughts. Now guys, let's discuss second news, and this guys, once again I really am not sure if it actually merges with blockchain technology. And the news is that banking giant Mashreq Bank, they are partnering with UAE fintech Fils to launch carbon offsetting services to corporate clients. So let me go ahead and read out what this news is all about. Because Fils guys, they provide digital infrastructure for financial institutions to launch sustainable products like carbon offsetting, and blockchain technology used by Fils ensures transparency, avoids double counting, and combats greenwashing. Now listen guys, what I really liked is that they mentioned double counting, that is double entry, but looks like they don't understand that double entry is possible with a centralized blockchain. But let me go ahead and share what this news is all about, because they have signed a memorandum of understanding at Mashreq Bank's global headquarters with the support from the UAE's Ministry of Economy. And John D. Van Dusen, the head of corporate and investment banking at Mashreq, emphasizes the initiative's impact on corporate clients. And Mashreq guys aims to launch specialized carbon offsetting financial products with selected beige corporate clients. And guys, the initial solution is expected in H1 of 2024, marking a shift towards environmental responsibility in region's financial practices. And carbon credits are integral for UAE's decarbonization strategy. And Mashreq Fils partnership addresses historical challenges, and Fils guys facilitates direct access to trading markets and fractionalized credits, simplifying purchasing and reporting to Mashreq. And Mashreq's ESG platform that is Climate to Change incorporates sustainable financial initiatives, part of a broader commitment to sustainability. And carbon offsetting corporate offering for Mashreq banks reflects the growing use of carbon credits globally, and 41% of global companies plan to use carbon credits for carbon reduction. And the market is expected to grow at a 30% compound annual growth rate. Now what are your thoughts guys? Me personally, I'm definitely not liking this news, because it looks like they're using the credit facility in order to get more funding. From a business point of view, it definitely does make brilliant sense. And Fils founder Namir Khan aims to enable companies to integrate ESG values into the operation. Now look guys, me personally, I'm not a fan of ESG values, and if you truly understand US politics, these values unfortunately align politically to left-leaning ideologies and left-leaning politicians. Now so far as this news is concerned guys, nonetheless, the partnership aims strategically with UAE's hosting of COP28 or COP28 and demonstrates a forward-thinking approach in the banking sector. And Mashreq's announcement follows the UAE's pledge for net zero emission by 2050, and Mashreq is committing to supporting sustainable related innovation in the fintech ecosystem. And Mashriq guys has more than half a century experience in the UAE, and they positioned itself as a challenger, startup and innovator in the industry, and Phil's is an enterprise-grade digital infrastructure, and they are contributing to a thriving planet, leveraging blockchain for sustainable financial solutions. To be honest guys, I definitely am not liking this news, and I don't see where blockchain technology fits into this. But nonetheless, I thought let me go ahead and share this in today's episode. So those were the news guys on the cryptocurrency, blockchain and ESG world from the Crypto Info of 88 from blockchain DXB. And in case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. I have a question by Drake who asks, what are your thoughts on metaverse-related cryptocurrencies, and are they heading towards the moon? Now this question, Drake, is kind of similar to someone asked me yesterday, and to be honest, I don't think that the price of cryptocurrency blockchain protocols that are connected to metaverse will be increasing. And the answer is pretty simple. There's not much news regarding the metaverse industry, but what I do think, Drake, is as and when Bitcoin is moving towards the Bitcoin halving, the price of Bitcoin will actually go ahead and increase, and because of that, the price of cryptocurrency and blockchain protocols that are connected to metaverse will actually go ahead and increase. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is, just a few weeks ago I did release an episode on metaverse everything, and what I did actually do, Drake, is I compared the price of tokens that were connected to metaverse, and I compared it with last 6 months figures, and to be honest, the numbers more than doubled. And the answer is pretty simple. It was only because of spot Bitcoin ETF news, and the price of Bitcoin back then was around the $20,000 mark, and because the price of Bitcoin almost doubled, the price of those tokens that are connected to metaverse also increased. Now what I'm really curious to check is that on the 2nd of February, Apple is officially going to go ahead and launch the Vision Pro headset, and if that news does have any impact on the price of cryptocurrency and blockchain protocols that are connected to metaverse, and in the series that I released called as Metaverse Everything, I did actually lay out opportunities for developers to go ahead and build things, let's say on Decentraland or Sandbox, keeping in mind the Apple Vision Pro headset. Those are my honest thoughts, but to answer your question, no, because I don't think that metaverse is mainstream yet. You're looking at least 8 to 10 years from now, maybe less, for mainstream adoption of metaverse, and by that time, to be honest, Drake, I do feel central bank digital currency, whether we like it or not, will actually be mainstream, and you need to go ahead and identify, should you go ahead and use central bank digital currency, which might be offering services because it is programmable money, similar to cryptocurrency tokens. Why would you want to use a distributed form of money? Rather, I would prefer to use a centralized entity, at least in the metaverse. Now, mind you, Drake, I'm not a massive advocate of central bank digital currency at all, but in the metaverse, I do feel CBDCs will offer a much better user experience in comparison to, let's say, an open blockchain or distributed form of working. Those are my honest thoughts. So definitely an interesting question, Drake. Thanks. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. And remember guys, Monday to Thursdays 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And how this series of episodes on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE and Middle East, and the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.